Hi, welcome back to another show. My name is Jeetu Jason, and you are watching Impact India. Let's get started with the first news, which is HCL Tech just issued a massive dividend of approximately 3,250 crores, which is about $340 million. For context, DeepSeek training or DeepSeek model was trained in $6 million for just the training purpose, and the entire infrastructure, including the GPUs and everything, was approximately $1 billion. So HCL just spent one third of that budget on dividends instead of AI chips, models, and deep tech R&D. They could have allocated it to research and development, but they chose to give it as dividends. So some idiots in this country keep saying dollar printing. Dollar printing is the reason why we can't do R&D. We just gave $340 million as dividend to investors instead of using it for research and development. This nation doesn't know how to allocate capital. That is the problem of our nation. We were 25% of the GDP 300 years ago. We chose not to allocate it for industrial revolution. That is why we did not industrialize. That is why we got colonized. We chose not to industrialize. We had the money. We chose not to do it. Japan did it. Japan industrialized. They did not get colonized because of that. Okay. Now, for context, $340 million is divided by 6 million is around 56. So we could have trained 56 DeepSeek models in that amount of money. 56, not 56 percent more. 56 different models we could have trained it in that amount of money. Anyway, this is just evidence that Indians do not know how to allocate capital to research and development. We just keep LARPing about, progressing as a nation. We're just live action role playing a superior nation that we are not. Your investment in research and development as a nation is 0.67%. Other nations is 3% or 5%. South Korea, I think 5%. Israel, 5%. US, 3%. US, 2 point some percent. China, 3%. All of these nations are investing a significant amount of their GDP in research and development. We are not doing that. We're giving out dividends here. I'm not saying other nations don't do it, but not at the expense of research and development. Give dividends after you have done your part in research and development, not before that. Don't sacrifice research and development for dividends. That's what I'm saying here. Okay, let's move on to the next news, which is AI plus smartphone controversy. This is not a news. This is pretty old, actually. Made in India brand accused of Chinese supplier links, similar software, hardware, etc., and privacy issues. Court orders. Have been court orders against people who talk about this issue, like me or other people who have been ordered to take down their videos on this issue. They've been gagged. So basically, a gag order against anyone who talks about this. So I'm gonna be wise. I'm not gonna talk about this much, but you get the point that I'm making. We are a nation of LARPers. We are live action role playing a superior nation that we are not. You need to put money into research and development instead of giving it as dividends. Instead of pretending to, the same happened with Galgotia University. We're just pretending to research and develop. We're not actually spending any money on this. None, zero, nada. Our R&D budget in most companies, most private companies, including Infosys, is less than 0.67%. 0.6% less than that. Infosys spends around 0.64%, I think, of their revenue. There are a few exceptions like HCL and all. They're making, I think, the Kaveri engine, so their R&D budget is around 5 to 10%, and some pharma companies have a 5 to 10% R&D budget. But most companies in India, it is safe to say that they don't spend any money on research and development. So that said, that is the second news. I'm not going to talk about it much because I don't want to be gagged by a Supreme Court or any kind of court for that matter. I don't have enough money to hire lawyers yet. Okay, so I'm going to refrain from speaking about this too much until I make enough money to hire like an army of lawyers. Then I'll go to town with these people. Yeah, so now the next one, this is not a news again. My opinion on freelancing is that solo freelancing is the worst way to make money, because there's something called as division of labor. Okay, division of labor achieves exponentially higher productivity per person. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. If you are a freelance thief, you might make, let's say, 10,000 rupees a day by stealing individually. But if you gang up with nine more thieves and form an organized crime syndicate, then your productivity doesn't just increase slightly; it exponentially increases. So instead of making 1 lakh rupees in theft each day, you'll be making 10 lakhs per day, because you can now organize, bribe cops. This is not a call to action, I'm just giving you a stupid example to wrap the point around. Okay, so if you organize into a group, instead of a solo freelancing web developer group, if you organize with other people, then it becomes, your productivity as a group increases. The you know the whole is better than the sum of the parts, or something like some, I forgot the phrase. The end product is better than the sum of its parts. That is what division of labor means. Okay, if you're going to go the freelancing route, do it as a gang instead of solo. Okay, always find a few colleagues to freelance with instead of alone, because division of labor increases productivity exponentially. IT jobs are becoming more difficult to acquire these days than a Tinder date. You have a much better chance of finding a desperate HR lady on Tinder and then sleeping with her and then you getting pregnant in your third nipple than she giving you an IT job. Okay, that's how difficult it is getting. So, if you're looking for an IT job, try Tinder first. If it doesn't work, come to me. Join my Telegram group. We can help each other out. You do as I tell you. I need multiple people to clip my videos and repost it onto different platforms to get me more reach, so that I could find more recruiters. And if we find more recruiters, then we can have all kind of, all the jobs that we want. Okay, so help me reach just 1,000 followers, and even if 10 out of these 1,000 followers are recruiters or employed people who can refer you, then basically we have no shortage of jobs. Okay, so you help me hack the algorithm and I will make sure that you get a job. Okay, that is the deal here. Okay, let's give it a try. What do we have to lose? Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Bye.